Good day, and thank you for tuning in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. For all of our new listeners and viewers who are tuning in for the very first time, I'm Pastor Pope, and thank you for allowing us to come into your viewing environment. We are here with you every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, broadcasting live from the FijiWater.com sponsored studio, where you can discuss careers, finances, entrepreneurship. You can discuss marriage, divorce, raising children, blending families. You can discuss dating and relationships, whatever's in your heart, whatever's on your mind. God is concerned about that which concerns you. And so we are here with you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which is brought to you daily by Fiji Water, Earth's finest water. You may already know that Fiji water comes from Fiji. However, did you know that it is created by nature? It is untouched by man. It starts as a tropical rainfall which slowly filters through layers of volcanic rock. The water collects in a natural, sustainable artesian aquifer where it is bottled right at the source, free from human contact until you unscrew the blue cap. Fiji water, Earth's finest water, will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery. And you'll save money at FijiWater.com. This is not just ordinary water, this is Earth's finest water at FijiWater.com. And for those of you who continue giving on the Give segment of our app at New Life-Delaware, and those of you who support the broadcast by giving on the contribution pages of our websites at newlifeministriesinternational.com, newlifeinternationalcdc.com, and those of you who use the QR code or the link that are posted on Facebook and YouTube. We thank all of you for your support and for your commitment as we fulfill our commitment to God to be here for you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. I want to remind all of our listeners and viewers, we are Facebook Live, we are YouTube Live, we are RadioFreeNetwork.com live. If you go to RadioFreeNetwork.com, you will find, when you click on radio, the drop box will appear. Click on the New Life link. Every broadcast will be available to you 24 hours a day for 365 days. And you can also view us at Daily Divine Direction on YouTube, which all of the videos, all of the broadcasts are archived in perpetuity. So we encourage you to not feel disconnected and do not feel alone. You are able to be connected with us 24 hours a day on our internet radio station, WKAP Faith Empowerment Radio. If you go to WKAPfaith.com, you will find that we are playing music 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Music that will encourage you, empower you, and inspire you to become the best version of yourself that you can possibly become. And I also want to welcome all of our listeners in all of the international countries, wherever you are, first of all, across the U.S. and wherever you are around the globe. And, you know, we looked at our top 10 cities, of course, and we are in the Delaware Valley. So all of you who are tuning in Philadelphia, Delaware, New Jersey, and then of course we have those of you that are tuning in Dallas-Fort Worth, and those of you that are tuning in New York and Las Vegas and Miami and Pittsburgh, and those of you that are tuning in Washington, D.C., every place that we see viewers tuning in and listening, we thank you for allowing us to be in your listening and viewing environment. So I want to also welcome all of those new countries that have been tuning in. Now, you know that we've had people tuning in the UK, Ireland, in Switzerland, and in Liberia and Cameroon, and all of India, of course. But we also have listeners tuning in the Philippines now. We also have, which have been tuning in before, but also in Indonesia, and also there's one other, and I don't want to forget anyone, but I'm just trying to welcome all of you who are tuning in constantly to be a part of what we're doing, to hear from God, to have a place where you can go and hear from God, receive daily divine direction, a place that you can go and hear music that is going to keep you not only connected, but encouraged, empowered, and inspired every single day. So we thank you for tuning in as we continue to expand our platforms. And I'm going to now address a communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers. And I have to tell you, this is something that we've been talking about from time to time. But you indicated that your coworker heard you make a comment about something, and now every time you attempt to communicate with her, she disregards your communications. And the simple answer to that is a lesson learned by us all. Sometimes we don't recognize how important it is. First of all, you cannot make comments about other people, and you have to be very careful about the comments that you make in a professional environment, period. Because first of all, once words are released, you cannot take them back. You cannot unring the bell. You can apologize, but that doesn't mean that someone's going to forget. Even if they forgive, they're not going to forget. Because people never forget how you make them feel. And I want to say this because it's real important that we recognize this. Many of us, some of you have not gone through this experience, but many of us have at one time or another thought that when we were having a conversation with one person, that someone else didn't have the opportunity to hear what was being said. And I've got to tell you, even before we had all of the technology that we have today, sometimes you thought when you were on a call with more than one person that everyone was disconnected, and you continued the conversation, and something you may have said, someone who remained on the call didn't like. And it will change relationships, and it will change opportunities. You got to remember that everyone's not going to disconnect immediately. People sometimes aren't even going to be aware that they're still on the line until what you've been said is heard. There's a lot of moving parts to this. And now with technology, everything is being heard in some form, whether it's by human intelligence or whether it's by artificial intelligence. So I'll give you an example of that. We talk about this often in my household, how, you're having a conversation about something, and the next thing we know, we're getting an ad about it. That's artificial intelligence, picking up buzzwords, picking up words that then allow advertisers to use that information to disseminate ads to you, to market to you. It happens. People may not be aware of it, but it does happen consistently. You might think that, it's just a one-time, one-off. That's not the case. AI is real, and not only is it real, but it's useful data. It allows companies to market to specific individuals without wasting advertising dollars. Now you might say, well, Pastor, I get an ad, I don't necessarily buy the product. That's true. However, they're not just doing it to you, they're doing it to the masses. And all it takes to pay for those artificial ads created by, or marketing pieces created by artificial intelligence, is that one person buys at a specific point in time throughout the day. So think about it. If one person buys, this hour, and I'm just using that as an analogy, it might be every 60 seconds. But if one person buys in this hour, and another person buys in the next hour, and another person buys in the next hour, and another person buys in the next hour, all of those marketing pieces, all those little clicks that go out are being paid for. Reduces the cost of advertising dollars. So the reality is, whether it's artificial intelligence or whether it's human intelligence, and if it's human intelligence, then the cost of what we say or do is going to have a penalty. And in this case, the penalty is when you communicate with your coworker, she disregards your communications or disregards you. That's a lesson learned. You're going to have to chalk that up to experience, and you're going to have to decide that you're just going to communicate with her when it's necessary, and if it works to your advantage or to your benefit, then to God be the glory, and keep it moving. You can't spend any more time on what's already been done, because again, you can apologize. You can say, you're not going to be able to dress that up. You said what you said. You can apologize if she was offended. That's the approach. You state, I apologize if you're offended by the comment that I made. And that's as far as you're going to have to take it, because that relationship is never going to be the same. That working relationship is never going to be the same. We've all been there. And when I say all of us, those of us who have made that mistake in the past. But we have to learn from the lesson. And we have to say, okay, I'm going to do things differently from now on. I'm not going to make that mistake again. I'm not going to offer my opinion about something that is going to have a negative impact on someone else. And then, we always have to be examining ourselves. So you have to ask yourself, what was the reason for making that statement? What was the reason for the comment? What was the reason behind what you said? Because we have to always be examining ourselves. I always use an analogy, what part did we play in something? Because we're all in the greatest play ever written. It's called life. And we're just mere characters or puppets, because God is pulling the strings. But we're mere puppets in this play. And sometimes we try to make the puppet come alive. We try to do things on our own, by our own way, our own will. And then God has to allow us to learn when we get off the string. I'm using these analogies to say we're all going to make mistakes. They're lessons learned. Everything is a lesson. There's a lesson in everything we do. There's a lesson in it. The question we have to ask ourselves is, do we want to continue getting a lesson from consequence? So I'll use this also. I've always said there's two methods that the human mind learn from. And, I know people have different ways of learning, visual, audio. Yes, all that's true. But there's two methods that we're going to learn as human beings, and it's either by instruction or it's by consequence. Those are the two major methods of learning. This is a lesson learned by consequence. but you're going to have to live with that. And moving forward, just not make the same mistake. The only thing you'll be able to do with this coworker is apologize if what you said she found offensive. What part do we play in the impact we have on others? Because we're all playing a part. That's why I always ask the question, what part did you play? You know the part you played in this. So now you've got to say, I want a different role. I don't want to be typecast in that role, that I'm the person who is causing conflict, I'm the person who is offending my coworkers and colleagues. You don't want that role. So you've got to decide that you're going to do everything differently. That you're going to handle both your personal and professional life much differently, so that you can have a better quality of life. This segment of the broadcast has been brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. If you are not currently a T-Mobile customer, you may call or text on the T-Mobile call or text line at 267-992-1424. We will move you into our queue so that you may become a T-Mobile customer and experience America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. Taxes and fees are included in your bill, and if you auto pay by attaching a credit card to your account, you will receive a discount on your monthly bill. At T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that your sister is dating someone that you do not think is good for her. You said he's a player, and he has dated other women that you know. However, she will not listen to you, and you want to know, how do you get her to see that this man is not good for her? So let me stop you right there. The easy answer to this, and then I'm going to expound on it, is that she has been warned. You know, you have to understand that everyone has their own type, first of all. Maybe your sister likes the drama of being in a relationship with the player. You have warned her. When I look at the communication that you sent, and I was prayerful about this. I'm prayerful that your sister doesn't go through a lot of pain and suffering. But here's the reality. You've told her who he is. You've told her, you've even shared with her some of the women that he's dated. You know them. Your sister might be familiar with some of them. She has chosen not to listen. She has decided that this is the person she wants to date, whether he's a player or not. Here's the problem. Sometimes women think that they can change someone. They think they can change a man. You know, I can do this. Everyone else hasn't been able to settle him down, but I can settle him down. He's not going to settle unless he's ready to settle. He's not going to change until he's ready to change. Your sister has decided that it doesn't matter about the other women he's been with. She thinks that she can settle him down. And let me say this to you. Because you've already given her warning, you shared with her the red flags. Now, could he have changed? Yes, but you know he hasn't, because it's been recent that he's been running through women. So you've told her. You can't live her life. You have to let her live her life. You don't want her to be hurt. I get it. I pray that she won't have to endure that. But she's decided she wants to date him. And I will tell you, there are people who like the competition of dating a player. You know, I'm dating him. If you think you can pull him, pull him. But I think that I can settle him. That's part of what people do. It doesn't make it good. It doesn't mean it's going to be lasting. What it means is that this is what she's decided she wants to do, and you can't live her life for her. All you can do is give her the information. You've given her the information that says he's going to do the same thing with you that he's done with every woman that you've told her about. He's going to do the same thing because he's not ready to settle down. He's not ready to be settled. But now that you've told her, you've got to let her live her life. You got to let her go through whatever she's going to go through to get to wherever she's going to go, because that's all part of her moving to another phase of life. You know, we all go through phases and stages. We all grow at our own pace. We all decide how we want to live this life. And if we're not thinking about having a great quality of life, we can't expect, our expectation cannot be a great quality of life. It just means that life's going to happen. Life happens to us all. But we can minimize what happens to us in life by the decisions that we make. Unfortunately, your sister has made the decision that this is the person she chooses to date. You've got to let her go through this experience. However, if in the end, and it will end, if in the end she is hurt, you need to be there for her. Don't be there just to remind her of, I told you so. Don't just be there to remind her that you tried to keep her from going through this. Just be there to listen, console her in the sense of, you know, I really hope that you won't find it necessary to go through this again. Be there. Be present for her. You know, so often because we want to be right when someone's going through something, we tell them, I told you so. Because we like being right. But it's not about being right. It's about being present to support your sibling. But she's decided she wants to go through this. In other words, she's decided that she wants that pain. She's going to enjoy what she wants to enjoy right now and deal with the pain later. That's a choice. The power of our choices will determine the quality of our lives. This segment of the broadcast has been brought to you by Porsche USA, Porsche America. If you are in the market for a new or previously owned automobile that's one of the finest high-performance automobiles ever manufactured, wherever you are across the U.S., wherever you are around the globe, if you're in the market for one of the finest high-performance automobiles ever manufactured, go to PorscheAmerica.com, wherever you are in the U.S., find out where your local Porsche dealer is, and stop in to see them. If you're in our area, Porsche of Delaware, PorscheDelaware.com, go and ask to speak to Mike Didio, General Manager, Porsche Delaware. He will make certain that you're taken care of. And if you already own a Porsche, and just need service. If you're in our area, stop in at Porsche Delaware. Ask to speak to Mike Adams, service manager, Porsche Delaware. He will make certain that you're taken care of. They will schedule an appointment for you, pick up your Porsche at your home or office, drop off a loaner vehicle, and return the vehicle to you after it has been serviced. Now, in our area, that is the finest service that you could possibly enjoy. However, if you're in the market for one of the finest high-performance vehicles ever manufactured, go to PorscheAmerica.com. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you have finally paid off all of what has been identified as bad debt, and you want to know what you should do now moving forward to make better use of your income. So that's a good question, and congratulations, to God be the glory that you have been able to pay off bad debt. We've talked about bad debt and good debt previously, and I know a lot of people don't realize this, but there is, contrary to popular belief, there is good debt and there's bad debt, as we talked about before. Good debt is if you have a debt that is based on owning a tangible asset that appreciates. That's good debt. If you own a tangible asset that appreciates, that is good debt, particularly if it's in real estate, because you can write that off. You can write off the interest. Okay, if you have a mortgage. So don't be afraid to take out a mortgage on a home or on commercial property or real estate. That's fine, because that's good debt. It appreciates in value, and you can write off the interest. The bad debt is credit card debt that has a high interest rate, or credit card that you don't pay off that has interest. You're paying interest. From time to time you may have to do that, but the goal is not to have to pay the interest. The goal is to have your credit cards, and I tell everyone you only need 3 credit cards. No more than that. Visa, MasterCard, American Express. That's it. Because you can get everything you need to get done with just those 3 credit cards. And you might not even need to use all 3. But those are the 3, if you're going to have any at all, that you should have. And the goal is to pay them off at the end of the month. So to make better use of your income is at the end of the month, pay off whatever you've charged. Pay it off at the end of the month. If an emergency arises, you know you have the ability, the purchasing power to address the emergency. But the best thing that you can do is now not create more debt, but make better use of your income by saving and investing. Purchase the dips in the market, acquire stock in publicly traded companies, invest in real estate, entrepreneurship. Any of those things are going to allow you to build wealth. That's what you do with the use of your income. That's it. Sustain your current quality of life and continue to invest for the future. Today's Daily Divine Direction broadcast 3D has been brought to you by Fiji Water. A taste of paradise will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery. And you'll save money at FijiWater.com. May God bless you today. May God keep his face turned towards you. May God give you peace that surpasses all